Hi. Are Indian students being held hostage in Ukraine right now? Who's made that claim? What do we know about it so far? How has New Delhi responded? How many students are still stranded in Ukraine? What do we know about them, their safety? What is the status of Operation Ganga? How many students have been evacuated so far? And how long before everyone is brought back home to safety? And what are the top 5 developments you need to know on day 8 of the Russia Ukraine crisis? You're watching the news that you don't get, and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. We are answering all those questions and much more on this video today. So, first up, the most important question. Are Indian students in Ukraine being held hostage? Who has made that claim? And what do we know about it so far? Last evening, there was a telephonic conversation between Prime Minister Modi and Vladimir Putin. This is where India has urged Russia to provide a safe passage to its many students still stranded in different parts of Ukraine, so that all of them could be evacuated to safety as soon as possible. After this conversation comes a readout, and this is where the claim is made that the Ukrainian security forces are using Indian students as a human shield and keeping them hostage. You're reading that readout now on your screens. So, minutes after this claim was made by the Kremlin, comes this counterclaim by Ukraine. I'm putting that out on the screens for you to have a closer look. And it says that because of the indiscriminate shelling and the missile strikes by Russian military on residential areas, students are not being able to move out. Students are stuck. So Ukraine now putting the onus back on the Kremlin. So you hear the claim and the counterclaim. All this is about the Indian students in Ukraine right now. New Delhi has been closely watching the entire situation and they've responded to this now. In a very detailed statement, they go on to say, and I'm quoting from it, "We have not received reports of any hostage situation regarding any student. We have requested support of the Ukrainian authorities in arranging special trains for taking out students from Kharkiv and the neighboring areas to the western part of the country." So New Delhi there categorically saying and claiming that they for the moment have received no reports of any hostage situation. So how many Indian students are still stranded in Ukraine? What do we know about them? How long before all of them are brought back home to safety? About 12,000 Indian students are back home. Another 3,700 are flying in today. The Indian government claims that now there are no Indians stranded in Kiev. But in Kharkiv and in Sumy is where you still have about 5,000 Indians stranded, waiting for help, longing to come back home. Now, Kharkiv, remember, right now is an active war zone. It is seeing heavy bombardment, it is seeing continuous shelling. And that is why the task becomes even more difficult. So New Delhi says that Kremlin has agreed to provide a safe passage to our students stranded in Ukraine. Particularly, remember, students in Kharkiv and Sumy. Now, Kharkiv is just about 80 kilometers from the Russian border, and attempts will be made to extract these students to safety as soon as possible. Because as I said, Kharkiv right now is an active war zone. Bombardments, shelling is what the area is witnessing. So what is happening in Ukraine right now? How is day 8 of the entire crisis looking like, and what is it that you need to know? There is visible and audible escalation. The port city of Kherson has fallen. This is the first big gain for Russia, providing strategic access to the Black Sea. The city of Kharkiv is literally on its knees. Multiple explosions, multiple bombardments have been reported so far. The International Criminal Court says it is probing Russia's war crimes. Later today, Prime Minister Modi is taking part in a virtual Quad summit. And this is where you will have the US, Australia, Japan, and New Delhi talking in the backdrop of this ongoing crisis. Till now, New Delhi has been equidistant from both Ukraine and Russia, trying to take the middle path, but for how long? We'll have to watch out what happens as far as that Quad summit really goes. Also remember, this is a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and do that. If you like our work, do share this with your colleagues, your family members, spread the word around. This is the news that you don't get, and we promise to keep you on top of the story. Thank you for your time.